Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. I'm getting my other camera set up. I think I am. Okay. Tell me how you're doing. Would love to hear from you. I've got a lot of stuff to go over today, so I'm excited you're here. Let me get this camera and we'll start rocking and rolling. Okay. All right, and let's get this going into our Creative Hearts group. So we have something really exciting coming up really soon. I can't believe it's just right here. I mean, we're really close. All right, here we go. Let me get this shared. Tell me where you're watching from. Have you had lunch yet? I see some people coming now. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know you're here. So, hey, Deborah and Mary Beth, we're going to be talking about supplies, creative supplies today. And so I've got them piled up all over my table. I wanted to show it to y'all from Louisiana. Awesome. We're almost neighbors. Las Vegas. Hello, Sandy. All right. So we have a workshop coming. It's our last journaling workshop for this year. So this one's very special. It's also special because of the topic. Okay. So let me pull it out and show you. This is just the sample, but we are going to take vintage children's patterns. Look at these precious things. 65 cents for that. Look at this. See the little babies? The artwork on these patterns in this time period was beautiful. The artwork's just beautiful in and of itself. So I'm using these. I love this one. They're so cute as inspiration for our upcoming journal. I thought there's a couple more in here I wanted y'all to see. And look at that. And this one. A lot of little robes. Isn't that cute? Oh, you just gave about 50 to Goodwill. Oh, Sandy. Were they vintage? If they were vintage, maybe you should go buy them back. Hey, Destiny. So we're going to use these patterns as our inspiration for this very special journal that we're going to be making. We're also going to use, let me get my little stack here, some vintage children's books. Let me show you these. That's so sweet. And then this one, just so sweet. We're going to use some children's books, vintage children's books. So why vintage and not new? Let me show you. Hey, Sue. It's so good to see you. Oh, my goodness, Sandy. Those things are valuable. Maybe you could go buy them. We've got some children's books. Look at the pages. Whenever they start discoloring and turning this color, I love them. They really are nice to paint on, to use watercolor and paint on them. You could also use acrylic paint, but I just love these. And I love the size also of the pages. And I also have this. I can barely move. I've got so much stuff on this table, but I wanted to show it to you. So I've got this old Bible story book, and it also just has, like, look at this. It's got beautiful artwork in here, and it's got the story pages. So what makes it special using these books is you can scroll through there and highlight or underline words that you might want to almost have a hidden message in your artwork, or you might want to do a flower around that particular word. It's like when you're painting these layers or you're creating in layers with mixed media art, you can use every layer as part of a story or not at all. I mean, it's your choice, but there's so much potential with mixed media, and that's why I love it so much. Um, let's see. So you've got some too? That's awesome. Okay, so Dana, I think you can use them in this journal. All right, have y'all signed up for the workshop? So this is where my inspiration is coming from. So have y'all signed up? I'll be curious to know. I've got a link to put in here. Hey, Susan and Karen. I'm seeing Adrienne in here too. All right, so I'm putting a link in the comments to sign up for this journaling workshop. This is the last one that we're going to be doing for this year, and I think you're going to want to do one of these. I really do. They remind me of my mom too, Marilyn. They really do. Yeah. I've been collecting these. I got some from estate sales. I've been buying them off of eBay. I just think that they make such a nice addition. Makes it very unique to incorporate them into our journal. And each journal is going to look different because the pages are going to be different. Everybody's going to get different pages. If you get a kit, you'll get different pages. You'll get different patterns. There's only a couple of duplicates in all the patterns that I have. So I'm looking forward to it. So this is the cover that I'm working on now as a sample. The next one I do will be different than this one because each pattern is different, and I will guide you in how to put yours together. So inside of the kit, we've got some drawings that I've already done for you, and I'll be teaching you how to add color to them because I want you to make this girl representative of you. So when I was a little girl, I had really thick, curly, long hair. So it's always reverse on here. So this girl represents me and my blue eyes. And I'm excited to help y'all create one that represents you. I think it's going to be really special. So if you've not signed up yet, I want to encourage you to do it now. It's going to be October. We're doing it different. We're going to start on a Thursday and we're going to run it through Monday. So for those of you who work, you'll have a little bit longer to work on it, and then we'll come back together on that Monday, and I'll be able to answer your questions and help finish up anything that you didn't get finished. Well, that's not even the right word, because with this type of journal, we build the bones together, and then you just keep working in it until it's filled. This is how we did the butterfly journal. So is there anyone here that did the butterfly journal with me? This is very similar to the butterfly journal. In the butterfly journal, we focused on transformation, and we had prayer pages and prompts in there. This one will focus on being a child of the King and our identity, our heritage, and our position. And it's those three things that we often forget as a daughter of the King, as a believer and follower. Those are the things that are so easy to forget and hard to remember. Isn't that funny? But they affect every decision that we make. They really do. The other big thing is we'll have a section for the King of Kings. And that's something we also forget. Who is it that loves us? Who is it that chose us? Because if you look around in this very chaotic world, I think that's what makes it easy to forget these important foundational parts of who we are and who he is. There's a song that I love to listen to on repeat. I think the title of it is Made for More, and it's Josh Baldwin, I think. And there's a line from it that says, I know who I am because I know who you are. So think about that. If we forget who he is, then we forget who we are. And we go back to being the beggar girls, begging for attention, begging for affection, begging for love, begging for acceptance, begging for those needs that most of those needs can only be filled by him. And it's then once we can realize that, we stop being a beggar. We go to him and we accept our new identity as child of the king. There's the identity. We recognize our position in his family. We're in his family. We've been adopted into his family. As a believer, you've been adopted into a new family and given eternal life. We forget our heritage. So when we remember who he is, then we know who we are and we can remember our heritage. So that's parts of what we're going to work on in our journal. We'll also have a section for the Prince of Peace because he has a very important role in all of this. So I've been talking about this story about the little girl that was standing outside the kingdom, the castle, and she was just trying to spy and get a glimpse of the queen. When a man comes up and asks her what she's doing, I just want to get a glimpse of the queen. Well, it turns out it's the prince. And he says, why settle for a glimpse when I can take you directly to her to meet her in person? So that's such a powerful parallel to us spiritually. And Jesus's role, the Prince of Peace, is to take us, to give us access to the King of Kings. It's such a precious thing to just soak in. And that's what we'll be doing as we make these journal pages. So let me see, and we'll insert the children's book pages. So this is an example of one that I did in my sample book, where I've got this old vintage children's book and I've inserted it into here. I've also got some hymn pages that I've inserted into here. This is one of the pages out of one of the children's Bible story books. I do too, Sandy. This is the Prince of Peace section. And so here's just an example, and I'll be guiding you in how to. So I don't know if I said this or not, but I went ahead and did all the drawings. So you'll be able to get the drawings. If you order the kit, you'll receive them printed out for you in your box. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. If you don't get the kit, you'll have access to this as a downloadable that you can print out and color it yourself. And I'm going to show you about the supplies that you can use because there's a variety of ways that you can color this. And I left plenty of blank space around this so that you can add your notes. So like some of my notes on here is I just use that side column to remind myself who he is. So we'll be talking about that a lot of who is he? Who is it that loves me? Who is it that chose me? Because y'all, I really believe that when we realize that, when we accept that, when we remember that, the King of Kings chose you. That's powerful. It's humbling to think about. But if we don't remember who he is, it kind of takes away from the awe that he chose us. So we need to remind ourselves who he is. He is holy. He's the good shepherd. He's the Son of God. He's perfect. He's Redeemer. He's Savior. So this column is for my own personal notes. I just really believe very strongly that I can give you these templates and the traceables, but there's some form that is powerful to write these things yourself, for you to look it up. Look up in your Bible, go to BibleGateway.com, do a search, and I'll give you some other resources. Who is the Prince of Peace? And write notes about it. Study who he is, because it's in doing that, you're going to get the only word I can think of is awe, just being in awe that the Prince of Peace would reach down out of his perfection and choose you, the beggar girl. You know, we dig around in the trash and we're trying to find what we need. We're begging others to give us what only God can give us. And he reaches down and he chooses you. He chooses me. And it's when we remember that our life has changed. We've got stuff like this that we'll be doing. Just these are all visual things that we're going to make together to have visual reminders. I don't know about y'all. I'd be curious to know in the comments, are you a visual learner? Or is that do you learn, I know we all learn different ways, but is that the biggest way you learn? The visual learner. If I can see something, I can remember it better. If I hear it, it helps me to also see it. I can remember better. So if you are also a visual learner, we're going to really dive deep into these words so that we can sit down, and while you're working on coloring this, you're thinking about, what does this word mean? How does this word apply to me? And I really think if you will use these prompts and really spend some time slowly coloring these, looking up the words, adding more definitions to this, I think it could be very refreshing for you. So this is an example of some of the other pages, and then we'll just insert them into the book. So let me see if there's anything else I wanted to show you in here before I start talking about the supplies. Now, this is one that we did on Tuesday. We did this on Tuesday. So the way this is falling into place, originally, I had planned for us to do this sooner in September, but I just couldn't get everything together. So I thought, well, we'll do it at the end of September. And I still couldn't get everything together because it takes me a while to gather all of these supplies. So now it's going to be October 3rd through 7th, but that's okay, because our September theme, our theme verse for September, was to coordinate with this project. It's the Hebrews 4:16. This is what we've been lettering in our Creative Heart Studio. Let us come boldly to the throne of grace so that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. And we're really soaking on this of, why can we come boldly? Why can we do that? It all lines up with this, because we've been invited. So right now in Creative Heart Studio, this is what we're working on, and it's going to lead into this. So we'll let this spill into our October lettering, because I've learned for myself, it sticks with me better if I do things on repeat. Okay, Sandy's in agreement. Repetitive. Yes, I learn better if I do it on repeat. So we're going to be we already are soaking in this for September in these verses. We're lettering them. We're coloring them. How many different ways can we use these verses? Then this will be like the celebration, doing the journaling workbook. And then once we get through the workshop, then we'll we'll spend October soaking in this even more. This is so powerful. It's so important. So if you've not signed up, I want to encourage y'all to sign up. I won't spend as much time teaching the lettering as I have done in the past because I want to spend more time on the prayer prompts and those things. But I will do one of the nights will be a lettering, a very basic lettering lesson that will help you learn some techniques that will just kind of dress your own lettering up a little bit. So this was another page I was going to show you. So this is scrapbook paper. Well, where'd it go? Scrapbook paper. This is one of the traceables right there that you'll receive that traceable also, and you'll be able to color it to coordinate with the scrapbook paper. We're including some scrapbook paper into the kits. It's all different. They're all, there's no two the same. So it'll be, everybody's unique. So the contents will be unique as well. So I think it was Sherry might have asked me, because I encourage y'all to shop your supplies, shop your own stash. I don't want you to feel like you have to buy a lot of stuff. So she was asking me about color palette for it. And I did put together a watercolor dots for this. And they're basic. They're more basic primary colors because as I was looking through these patterns, that was like a common theme in all of these patterns. Another thing that I did with the watercolor dots is I included a color that is a good, two different colors that are good base colors for skin tones. So like my skin tone is really, really pale. Some people's has more yellow tone. Some skin tones are more brown or dark brown. So I feel like between this is so backwards, this and adding a little bit of yellow where needed. And then we're putting a brown, I don't see it now. I thought I had one, but we're including a brown water-soluble pencil and a couple of those pencils so that you can make this more like yourself. I really do hope that you will make these girls look more like yourself. There's another girl in here I wanted to show you, and that's what I was looking for, but I may have her somewhere else, but she's a little girl that you'll be able to dress up. Okay, so let me show you. This one was one of my favorites too. Isn't that face adorable? So I used some of these as inspiration for the girls that I drew to put inside the kit. So let me quickly show you this, and then I want to talk about supplies. All right, so I made a sheet of words. This row right here is a verse, and I did it narrow so that you could put it on one of your pages. And then the others are phrases that you can cut out and use them wherever you want to. It is Daniel Smith, Susan. Yes, I like to use Daniel Smith. They're artist grade watercolor, and that's what those are. There's one, though, that is not Daniel Smith, come to think of it. It's the Holbein artist watercolor. It's the, I think it's pronounced Juan, Jaune. That's this yellow pinky color. It's a good flesh base. All right, so you'll receive that, and you'll receive this. And for those who are not used to coloring or painting, most people tell me that this is like coloring. It reminds them of coloring. So there's that. This is the girl that's on the cover. You'll be able to use her throughout the workbook, and I'll guide you in making the skin tone look like you and in doing her hair to be your hair color. Like Susan, I know Susan, she's one of our members, and she has red hair, really pretty red hair. So Susan, you could make your girl have red hair, and if your eyes are brown, You could do brown eyes if your eyes are blue. I just want you to do everything you can to make her like you. This is the girl I was looking for. So here's this little girl. And so I made her like my hair color, but again, you can customize her to look like you. Her little coat is symbolic of the robe of righteousness. Okay. So you'll get that sheet like that. I think there's about 14 sheets and a hymn book page. So somebody gave me a huge large print hymnal that their church was getting rid of. And these are perfect for our journals. So we're putting some of these in the kit. Awesome, Karen. Karen got hers ordered. I don't remember if I showed you this one or not. And then Grace. I think there's some more because I don't think that's 12. I can't remember if it's 12 or 14 pages. It's a lot. It's a lot of pages. Okay, so now let me take just a moment to talk to y'all about supplies. And I'm gonna put some videos in the Facebook group. So in the workshop, we have a private Facebook group for our workshop attendees. And so I've got some prep videos that I'm going to put in there, but I wanted to tell y'all this also. Okay, so I'm using things like this in mind. This is some vintage rickrack. You don't have to have vintage. You know, just look and see what you have. The Goodwill store, there's different places that you can get really cheap supplies, but choose the colors that you like. So I want to tell you about red. A very special friend of mine named Peggy, when I first met her, I don't remember how many years ago it was, probably 20-something years ago. If we were choosing colors for something, she always chose red. Do you know why? It reminded her of the blood of Jesus. And that has always stuck with me. So I've got my red sweater on because I'm going to be I'm working on this today, and I'm trying to get my mindset in there. So anytime I see red, I think about Miss Peggy and this being symbolic of the blood of Jesus. Hey, Tony, I'm so glad to see you. So look around to see if you have any of this stuff. I know a lot of you might have a mother who used to sew, but just look and see what you might have. This is something else that's really works out good. That's called hem facing. This is really old, but you don't have to have old. This is bias tape, and then there's, well, that's him. I thought I had one that said hem tape. But look at some of the colors that you like, because we really want this to be symbolic of us. I like these colors here. I like all of those colors. And then I've got some red for the blood. But I wanted to give you a visual of what I'm talking about with that. Embroidery floss also is good. Even fabric. So trying to get this without turning my chair over. This is a little scrap. I incorporated fabric into my journal. So look at this right here. This is fabric. This is some special scrapbook paper. It looks like fabric though, doesn't it? That's what I wanted for her dress. I've been hanging on to that scrapbook paper for probably 15 years. I didn't want to use it on anything because for some reason it was special and I was waiting for the right project. Well, this is the project. I'm using some of this stuff that I've had for a while. You could use napkins. I know a lot of y'all do napkin art. Then let me show you something else with the crown. So if you notice with her crown, let me see. So I drew the crown for you, and you could paint that just gold. You could do it just gold. But I wanted to play around with it being a collage crown, like a variety of different papers. And so while I was at Hobby Lobby the other day, and I opened the pack up, but over in the scrapbook section, This is what the front part looks like, Paper Studio. I purchased this little pack of little elements, little die cuts, and it's got butterflies and florals and birds. I love all of those things. And so I incorporated some of those into her crown right here and back here. And then this is one of those as well. So if you don't have a Hobby Lobby, they had quite a few options for it. If you have die cuts, what do you call them? Rubber stamps. Just look and see what you have. I bet that you have some stuff already. So I wanted to give you an example of all of that in advance. So now let me talk to you about the different supplies, because again, I don't want you to feel like you have to buy everything. Y'all, hold on just one moment, please. I'm sorry. Hold on, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Emma, I could hear her scratching and scratching the paint off the door. Okay, so let me talk to you about water soluble. I could take this link down. Sorry about that. Okay, so I use these all the time. So if you've been following me for very long, you know that I like watercolor, I like water soluble supplies. But if you're new to me, you may not be familiar with these. So these are called Neo colors, and we include them in our kits because so many people have never tried them before, and you can do so much with these. So I'll be using some of these. I think we put 2 of these in the kit. You know what? I brought this up here to show you, and then I forgot. So, I'll also use some water-soluble pencils. Yeah, it's 2 pencils and 1 Neo color. So it's a purple pencil and then this really pretty teal or turquoise. It's called malachite. That's in the kit. Then we've got this, what we call Studio Stash. It's scrapbook paper. There's some gold tissue paper in there, ribbon. There's lots of beads and little glittery things in there. And then this is big. I mean, it's a lot. This is all the vintage finds, the sewing patterns and the book pages. And then your little workbook, your printed workbook is in there. And then we've also included a composition book for you. So you get a lot in this kit. I'm not going to pull it out because they do have it packed so nicely. I am going to get the supply kit though. And the color palette, because I want to talk to you about both of these. Okay. All right. I'm also going to use tape. This was the other thing I wanted to make sure to talk about, like washi tape. I've got a variety of washi tape, and I'll kind of color coordinate mine. So this is not in the kit. I wanted you to see how I do mine so that you can look around and just see what you have. You probably have some. Another thing that I have found useful in applying some of these pages is clear packing tape. It holds really well and it's clear, so it's not a big deal. And then I've also been using that, and I don't have it over here, the Fabri-Tac glue and then the Pritt glue stick. But I did an experiment using this Elmer's Craft Bond. It's super thin. And I did one of these pages, inserted it using that, and it holds up well too. So I just want you to see all of this so you're not intimidated by it, but to just know that you can make substitutions. So I inserted this page using that a bead of that craft glue, and then I propped it up so it would dry, and that's one way I did it. You can see the little trims I added and the rickrack. We always put buttons. I like to use buttons. Tell me what questions you have. And I'm looking to see. I thought there was another something I wanted to show you. Pins. That's the other thing. Pins. Okay, so if you have questions, if you put those in the comments, I'll be sure to answer them. And let me reach over and get my pins. So you can use whatever pins you like to work with. I like that glue too, and it really helped. I think it was Marla that told me to thin it down some with the, what do you call that stuff that you, acetone. So I did that, and that really helped. You can absolutely use Mod Podge, Susan. You absolutely can. For the cover, you could use that. I used Fabri-Tac, and I think I used Fabri-Tac and the glue stick to apply my pieces to the cover. And then I went over it with some Mod Podge to kind of seal it. You could also use other collage things too, like matte medium. It works really good to go over the top as a sealer. You could use gloss medium. It works really well over the top as a sealer on the cover. I don't think we really need it on the inside, but yes, we can. You can definitely use Mod Podge. Hey, Darlene, I'm glad you're here. Hope you're feeling good. I feel like I'm leaving something out other than the pencils, but let me see if I can get my, not the pencils, the pins. So I had my friend Desiree to come teach in our Creative Hearts studio the other night, and we were learning about different pins. It was a lot of fun. And I don't know if y'all are like me or not, but I love pins. I have a weakness for pins. Anybody else? I did use packing tape. Will you make the traceable download available? Yes. If you signed up for the workshop, you will have that. Yes. And we're getting people moved over to the Facebook page. I think she started that last night or today. I'm going to use my stash. However, I do not have old patterns. Do I need a sewing pattern? Holly, you don't have to have one. I just liked using it for inspiration, and I think we were trying to make sure I had enough. Last on the butterfly journal, once I knew I had enough, then I put some available for sale, just the pattern only. So if you do want to get one and don't have one, I'll have some in the shop that you can get. That's a good question. I think I answered the others. Okay, so let me see. But y'all keep putting your questions in there, and I'll get to it. Let me see if I can get this little thing going. I want to show you some of these pins. I thought it might help you decide, if you saw how the pins worked. If you were in Creative Hearts this week, if you missed the Zoom with Desiree, I think Adrienne has the replay available now in the hub. Okay, so these pins, where's my water? Let me get some water. All right, these pins, pretty sure we have these. I don't know if Adrienne is still here or not. So somewhere or another, I can't remember where she told me, y'all, but somewhere we've got a link that directs you to our Amazon shop, that if you want a direct link to the same thing that I'm using, you can go to that little shop now and find it easier. It's kind of organized that way. But I wanted to also visually show you what they do. For me, I'm teaching you the way I learn. How's that? Okay, so I purchased this little pack. This is Recollections, and I think this is a Michaels brand, or they sell it at Michaels. I think that Hobby Lobby sells Paper Studio. I think is the difference. So, and this is in a color palette that I like a lot, so I got it. And it also matches my washi tape that I purchased back whenever we were doing the, here's the pins. Good grief. Sometimes I get so organized I can't even find it. Okay. This is the washi tape that I purchased back in June because I was just so drawn to those colors. Well, then I ran up on this pad of paper that coordinates with that washi tape. Then I saw this pack of pens, markers that coordinate with all of this. So really, I'm set. I don't even have to have any more than that. I do have more than that, but I just wanted you to see how basic you could be with this. Okay, so let me get a piece of paper. I'm going to pull out a black piece of paper and a lighter. Let's see where a lighter piece is. Right here. All right, move this out of my way. All right, so these, I like this brand. It's called Stradler, and it's, oh, this art, it's in an art case. I thought that said something else, something important. If you are familiar with Tombows, the brush markers Tombows, this is comparable, but it's got a shorter nib, so you don't have to, I don't know, it might be easier to write with. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Marilyn is like me. She's a pen lover too. Yes. Okay, so see how pretty that color is? And I'm going to write Holly's name. I see her name there. So I'm doing this so that the downstrokes, I'm putting pressure, and the upstrokes, I'm barely touching it. What I like about this pen is it almost has a watercolor effect in how the pigment just kind of has like a variation to it. But this is how it would look on this paper. I'm not even going to try putting it on that because I know it's not going to show up. But now let's try this lighter one. Let's see what names I see. Okay, I don't remember if this shows up or not. Okay. Isn't that interesting? That's the color, and that's how it shows up. So I'll go ahead and finish it out. You got yours ordered, Diane? Awesome. Which ones did you order? I'm curious. Let me make sure I spell your name right, Marilyn. I don't want to rename you. Your mama probably would not appreciate me doing that. Okay, there's Marilyn. I thought this was interesting how it works on that. Now let me show you this one. So this is the same company, Stradler metallic brush. Okay, so I tested quite a few white pens. I have one on order that Desiree had shown us Tuesday night in CHS. It's the glaze. Yes, the glaze. All right, so this one is a white brush. Okay, so watch this. Going up is thin, going around and up, okay? Going up thin, pressure going down, up, back down. Okay, going up, pressure going down, up is thin, pressure going down. Okay, that shows up really well, I think. So I did not check to see if you could purchase these individually, but I really like this pen. All right, and this is the name Staedtler, white brush. So I need to grab the other one because I want you to see it. Hold on just a second. I didn't get situated before I got started. All right, the other one I want to show you is the Jelly Roll. And this white one is not the Jelly Roll glaze. So this one, let me do this. That'll help me remember. All right, let me grab another name. How about Susan? Look at this. So Desiree was telling us about the white Jelly Roll. I think it's UM 153. I can't remember now. And I don't have one of those, but that's what I ordered because it works really well on the dark paper. But this works pretty good. Look at that. Yes, I'm going to show you the Posca also. All right, so this is jelly. All right, so there's that one. Now, so I don't understand the difference. So this is the Jelly Roll glaze, and it does not do very well like this. So this is interesting. This is not the glaze. This is just Jelly Roll 08. So I think that this is actually like one of those that she was recommending that we get. So watch the difference. This is fascinating. Look, you can't even see it. That's the Jelly Roll glaze. Now, it shows up on this black paper as just something shiny. So you could actually use it. Can y'all see how the sheen that it has to it? It's fascinating to me. It is crazy. Oh, good, Deborah. Did you get a set? Because I have those, but I don't know that I have a white one. And then I was going to do my Posca. All right, so this is a Posca, and this is, what size is this? 0.7. This is a Posca that is, wait, I don't see the size. It's bigger, but I don't see the size. So let's look at it. So listen, it's got a ball in there, so you need to shake it. All right, so now these work really good if you for this purpose, but also if you were doing like an acrylic painting or even with watercolor and you need some white to go on top, to lay on top of it, this would work. It's opaque. You can't see through it. That's the Posca. I had found a set of the Sharpies at Michael's. Let me see if it's right here. If it's not right here, then I'm going to come right back. But I thought if I have it handy, I could show that to y'all. I also have the Tombow. Let me show y'all the Tombow. I just would rather show you all this stuff to keep you from buying something and being disappointed. That's why I'm taking the time to do this. All right, Tombow. I have no idea how to pronounce this. Fudanosku. Who knows? Deborah. Let's do Deborah's. You're ordering markers this weekend. Well, I hope this helps, Esther. All right, let's do Deborah. Look at how it changes. Isn't that so fascinating? Can y'all see it changing? All right, so if I go over it again, it will thicken up, or you have to kind of do it in layers, I guess is what I'm trying to say. See how it gets darker? Deborah. I'll make sure I spelled your name correctly. It's so cool. Now it is not very bright or dark. It's more translucent. I was not as impressed with these. I mean, I guess it's good for something, but I don't know that it works with what I need. And this is how it looks. It says it writes on dark paper. It's great for illustration and lettering. Water-based ink initially appears transparent and the color intensifies as it dries. Layer the ink to increase opacity. So what you could do is let that layer dry, then go over it again with another layer. Okay. I like the plastic cases for travel purposes. Oh, yes, absolutely. Okay, that's the white. Now let me show you the silver. These are the Sparkle Pop pens by Pentel. So let's do Esther's name. I think you might want some of these or something similar to it for your crowns. Okay, so this is the silver. Let me get a gold. Let's see. Okay, Brenda. Let's do Brenda. Okay, that's how the gold turns out on black. Now let me show you how it would look on here. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm hesitating. I'm just trying to grab names. All right, look at the gold. It's really pretty on a light piece of paper. And so what I use these Sparkle Pops for, I think it's what it's called. Yeah, Sparkle Pop by Pentel. I used it to add detail to the girls and different parts of the journal. I used it to add some sparkle to her eyes. So you can thicken it up like that. All right, so this is the Sparkle Pop, and it comes in a pack. Look at all these different colors. They're really pretty. Let me show you. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see the sparkle right in there? It may not be picking up on the camera, but I put that there for her eyes. And then I added sparkle in the in the other girl. So now let me show you the Jelly Roll Glaze. Okay. I think I'll do Karen and Tony. Is there any other names that I've missed? Because I want to do some different names so y'all can see. Okay, so these are the Jelly Roll glaze, and these are some that I'd already ordered mine. Desiree had told me about them, so I already had these, but she demonstrated it Tuesday night. You want it to have the word glaze on there. Okay, so I already forgot whose name I forgot. Marilyn. Maybe let's do Marilyn. Okay, so what I like about this is once this dries, it's almost 3D. So now I can go back with another line beside it. And y'all, you have to be super duper careful with this because it takes a little while for this ink to dry. And if you put your hand in it, it's going to smear. But it's such a cool effect whenever you let the layers build up. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to show you how I did this with the traceables. Okay, so there's Marilyn. You see how shiny it is? It's going to stay like that. I love my glaze pens. Okay, Jackie's got glaze pens. So tell me, Jackie, do you have a favorite color? Well, let's do Jackie's name. Then I'm going to show y'all how to do it, use it with the traceables. It really makes the traceables pop. So the traceables, while I'm doing this, let me talk to you about the traceables. So the traceables are meant, when I first originally started doing these, I call them traceables because they're meant for you to trace it and train your muscle memory how to do the lettering so that you could letter it yourself after you trace it for a while. But what I realized is a lot of people just wanted to add color to it and use it just like that. So either way is fine. All right, there's Miss Jackie. Tony has Posca. Yes, she uses it on almost everything. Well, let me show y'all how, let me get one of these that I've already colored. Oh, it's 1 o'clock already. All right, let me show you this, and then I wouldn't be in a rush to get off, but I'm trying to get my my videos ready for our Facebook people as they get into the workshop. Okay, so here's my traceable. And so I colored it. There's a few places that I got outside of the lines. That's okay. But look what happens whenever I take my black. I thought I had one more. Okay, I've already outlined this one. Let me do it on her dress. I want you to, I think I already did it on this one too. I want you to see how it really makes it pop. I don't think I've done it on this one yet. Okay, let's see. All right, so see how dull it looks around the edge? That's just where the paint went over the top of it. So watch what happens. This is the black. They've got quite a few different colors, and these are the glaze. So think glaze is like the 3D. So watch what happens. Whoops. And remember, it takes, Desiree said 45 seconds. I've never timed it, but I just trust her. She's my friend, and I just trust that she knows what she's talking about. Okay, look how it stands out. It really makes it come to life, outlining it with the Posca. So what I used to use was like a Micron or a Pitt pen, but and you can still do that maybe for detailing, adding a little shading or things like that. But if you really want to put emphasis on it, you can use this Jelly Roll glaze and it really helps it pop. Can y'all see that happening as I'm outlining it? And this is the black. Let me do this for her little, I love the patterns that had these little capes. I can remember being a little girl and they just felt so cozy, how you could put your little arms in the pockets. Yes, Marilyn, I sure can. Okay, y'all look at that. See how that made it really pop? Okay, so if you've, does anybody else have any more questions? That one I had already outlined. Okay, but that's just a brief overview for y'all with the supplies. I just don't want y'all to feel like you have to buy a bunch of stuff to be able to do the workshop, or buy things that you're not ever going to use again, which I have done over and over and over. So Marilyn had asked about how to get to the hub. Marilyn, if you signed up for a workshop, let me see here. I think it will let me share my screen and I'll just show y'all. If you're a member, if you're one of our Creative Hearts members, then you'll, well, I guess it's the same way, whether you're a member or not. You're going to need to log in. Okay, it's not going to let me share my screen. Okay, that's all right. So you go to the website and click on the tab, or go down to the Creative Hearts Studio, and there should be a tab that says, well, you just click on it. You click on Creative Hearts Studios, and it's going to come up as a picture. I think the one on the right side is workshops and the others is membership. So if you're a member, you would log in there. If you are just purchasing the workshop, so, okay, then if you're just purchasing the workshop, you'd click there. So Marilyn, go to the Creative Hearts Studio one and you can log in there. I think you're a new member. Every week, and this is good that she does it this way, Adrienne sends out an email for me to the members, and she'll have announcements and things like that. And she also always puts the link to the hub. So if you're ever not sure, click on that, go to that email, look for your, and it's always on Mondays, and there's the link, and then bookmark it so it'll show up on your tab. Does that help? Does that help? And I'm glad you signed up, because y'all, there's hundreds of lessons in there. And when you join the membership, you get access to all those lessons. So last year I did this super cute, we painted these super cute scarecrow girls, and you can get access to that class now if you want to make a scarecrow door hanger. The year before I had a pumpkin class, so you could get access to that because of being a member. And then at the end of the workshop, we will close out the membership. Good. Anytime you need help, though, send an email, and she's super, super good about helping. She's really smart and she's sweet. That's a really good combination, to be smart and sweet. But anyway, so if you know somebody that you think might be interested in our Creative Hearts, tell them about the workshop, because the workshop's going to be a good place to get a feel of what we do inside Creative Hearts Studio. And then I think it'll be October 8th. We'll close the door on adding new members. So just trying to get as many people who've been thinking about it to go ahead and sign up. All right, ladies, I hope that y'all have a fantastic Friday, and I look forward to seeing y'all soon. And I hope you're going to sign up for the workshop so you can do this with us. And we've still got some kits, so y'all can get your kit. And if you are a member, be sure and get your use your discount code for your creative supplies. Okay. All right. Well, y'all have a good day. I'm going to get recording on some stuff for the workshop. All right. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.